I woke up with the first rays of dawn creeping through our threadbare curtains, just as I did every morning in this bustling downtown district. In the dim light of our modest room, I gazed at my daughter Erica sleeping peacefully beside me, her young face untouched by the hardships that had become our daily life. The soft morning light illuminated our simple surroundings, the worn furniture, the makeshift clothing rack with our old clothes hanging limply, and the unmistakable signs of poverty that clung to every corner of our home. Yet, in this humble space, the love between my daughter and me burned brighter than any material wealth ever could. My heart swelled with a bitter mixture of pride and sorrow as I watched my sleeping angel, remembering how different our lives might have been. "If only your father hadn't abandoned us," I whispered softly, my voice catching in my throat, "we wouldn't be struggling like this, but I swear I'll never give up on you, no matter how hard things get." Erica stirred then, stretching gracefully like a young cat before opening her eyes to face another challenging day. Despite everything, my presence seemed to bring her comfort, a fact that both warmed and broke my heart. "Good morning, Mom," she said with that brave smile I'd come to treasure. "I hope you sell all your flowers today. I'll help you after school, I promise." My sweet girl understood all too well how hard I worked to keep our little world turning. After our modest breakfast of toast and coffee, I began preparing my flower cart with trembling hands. The flowers might have been simple, but I arranged them with all the care and artistry I could muster, making sure each bloom was perfectly positioned. Even in our desperate circumstances, I believed I could still bring beauty into this harsh world. As I pushed my cart down the crowded street, my voice rose soft but determined above the city noise. "Fresh flowers, sir. Wouldn't these brighten your lady's day?" But the faces of the passers-by remained distant and uninterested, hurrying past as if I were invisible. I felt exhaustion settling heavily on my shoulders when suddenly, my heart stopped. There was my Erica, approaching a luxury car that seemed to belong in another world entirely. Why is my daughter talking to that man in the expensive car? My mind raced with possibilities, each more terrifying than the last. The scene before me felt surreal, like something from a nightmare I couldn't wake from. Without hesitation, I began following the car, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. Fear and distrust bloomed in my chest like poisonous flowers as I tried to keep the vehicle in sight. "I have to know what's happening," I thought desperately. "Dear God, please don't let her be mixed up with dangerous people. Please let her be safe, that's all I ask." When I finally caught up to the car, my world shattered as I saw who stepped out. It was Scott, my ex-husband who had abandoned our family years ago, and he was embracing Erica. My heart seemed to stop beating for a moment, frozen in time at this impossible sight. "Scott? Why are you here? And why are you with Erica?" The words tumbled from my lips like broken glass. "After all the pain you put us through, how dare you show up now?" My voice trembled with years of suppressed anger. I rushed toward him, my need for answers overwhelming my desire to run away from this ghost from my past. My questions came out like rapid fire, each loaded with years of hurt. Scott turned to face me, his expression serious but haunted by what looked like regret in those familiar eyes I once loved. "Melinda, I know I made terrible mistakes," he said, his voice carrying a weight I'd never heard before, "but I've come back because I'm sick, terminally ill with not much time left. I want to spend what time I have left with our daughter and make sure she's taken care of after I'm gone." I couldn't believe what I was hearing, my thoughts spinning like autumn leaves in a storm. "So you're back because you're dying?" I said bitterly, "and suddenly you care about Erica? How can you expect us to believe you after everything you've done?" I searched his face desperately, looking for any sign of the lies I'd grown so accustomed to from him. A storm of anger and despair raged within me as I confronted this man who had once been my everything. "Will you swear to do right by Erica this time? How can we possibly verify that this isn't just another one of your lies? Though Scott appeared sincere, the scars of his past betrayal were still raw in my heart, like wounds that had never truly healed. I can't trust you, Scott, I said firmly, so I'll be watching your every move. Erica deserves to know the truth, but I won't let her be hurt by you again.
Scott and Erica stepped into his gleaming luxury car, a stark contrast to the modest life she had known with her mother. The following days would be their attempt to bridge the vast canyon of lost years between father and daughter. As they arrived at Scott's elegant mansion in the city's most prestigious neighborhood, there seemed to be a fragile thread of connection forming between them. Scott's face bore visible signs of his illness, yet his every interaction with Erica was filled with desperate yearning to reclaim their lost time together. Though curiosity sparked in Erica's eyes, uncertainty clouded her features as she struggled with wanting to believe her father was truly trying to atone for his past sins. "Dad, why did you abandon us?" Erica's voice trembled with years of stored pain. "I kept hoping you'd come back someday, but now that you're here, I'm so confused." Scott sighed deeply, reaching out to touch Erica's face with a tenderness she had never known from him before. "I made so many mistakes, Erica," he admitted, his voice heavy with regret. "I was selfish when I walked out on you and your mother, but not a single day passed when I didn't think about you. Now, all I want is to make sure you're taken care of after I'm gone." Scott then made an offer that would change everything, promising Erica a life of luxury and security. "Erica, I know this is sudden and confusing, but I want you to come live with me," he proposed earnestly. "You can have everything you've ever dreamed of, no more struggling, just a safe and comfortable life." Erica studied her father's face intently, trying to decipher the truth behind his words. "I don't know, Dad," she replied cautiously. "Mom has always been there for me, protecting me through everything. How can I trust that you won't hurt us again?" Scott clutched her hand tightly, his eyes brimming with a mixture of sorrow and regret that spoke volumes about his past choices. "I understand your hesitation," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion, "but this time, I swear I'm sincere. I want to do the right thing, just this once."
I sat alone in our modest home, feeling my distrust of Scott growing stronger with each passing moment. My instincts screamed that Scott was hiding something beneath his sudden reappearance in our lives. How could a man who was never honest before suddenly become sincere now? I whispered to myself, my hands trembling as I clutched my coffee cup, "It's impossible to believe." The thought of Erica being drawn into any dangerous situation made my maternal instincts surge like a protective tide. I resolved to watch the situation carefully until I could verify Scott's true intentions, my heart hardening with determination. "I won't let Scott hurt Erica again," I vowed to the empty kitchen, my voice steady despite my inner turmoil. "If he's really changed, he'll have to prove it, and I'll be watching his every move until he does." My years of experience with Scott's deceptions had taught me to be vigilant, and I wouldn't let my guard down now, not when Erica's well-being was at stake. Every fiber of my being was focused on protecting my daughter from whatever scheme Scott might be planning.
As the night deepened, Erica found herself torn between two worlds, her heart oscillating like a pendulum between trust and doubt. "Mom has always been there for me, and I trust her more than anyone in this world," she whispered to herself in the darkness, "but somewhere deep in my heart, I want to believe Dad has really changed. If he's truly sick, I don't want to miss this chance to know him." Her thoughts continued to spiral in the quiet of the night. Erica understood that no easy answers awaited her in this complicated situation. In the midst of her emotional turmoil over reuniting with her long-lost father, she knew she had to find a way forward, even as uncertainty clouded her path. That evening, she sat in the luxurious guest room of Scott's mansion, surrounded by an opulence that felt alien to her modest upbringing. Her eyes wandered over the elegant furnishings as she tried to make sense of what this new environment meant for her future. "This feels so unreal," she murmured, running her fingers along the silk bedspread. "I grew up in such a simple home, and now I'm surrounded by all this luxury. Dad says he wants to make up for lost time, but can I really believe him? She wondered, her heart heavy with doubt. I wonder how Mom is doing right now. The thought of her mother sent a wave of homesickness through her. Seeking comfort in familiar territory, Erica reached for the phone, desperate to hear her mother's reassuring voice.
I felt my heart skip a beat when I heard Erica's voice on the phone. "Mom, I'm at Dad's house now," she said, her voice trembling with uncertainty. "I'm honestly so confused. Dad seems sincere, but I don't know if I can trust him. Everything's happening so fast, and something feels strange," my daughter continued, her words heavy with conflicting emotions. I could hear the mixture of hope and doubt in her voice as she struggled with her feelings. Has he really changed, or is this just another act? "I want to know what to do, but I'm so lost," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to remain calm despite the storm raging in my heart. "Erica, I understand your confusion," I said carefully. "Your father has always been good with words, skilled at manipulating people. Don't trust him blindly. Remember how he abandoned us, all those empty promises he made in the past." My heart felt like it was being squeezed in a vice, but I knew I had to speak firmly about this. "All I want is for you to be safe," I told her, my voice softening. "If he has truly changed, that would be wonderful, but we need proof, not just words." After hanging up the phone, my anxiety grew even stronger, pressing down on me like a heavy weight. In my desperation, I decided to reach out to Ethan, my childhood friend and the one person I could always trust for sound advice. Ethan had always been my rock, wise, and unfailingly helpful in times of crisis. When he arrived, I immediately poured out everything that had happened. "Ethan, I'm at my wit's end," I confessed, my voice breaking. "Scott's back, claiming he's dying, and he wants Erica to live with him. I can't tell if his intentions are genuine, and Erica is so confused. I need your help to uncover the truth." Ethan understood the gravity of the situation immediately and nodded with determination. "Let me look into it, Melinda," he assured me, his voice steady and calming. "I'll find out what Scott's been up to these past years. If he's truly changed, that would be wonderful for Erica, but if he's lying, we need to know." I watched Ethan leave with mixed feelings of relief and anxiety swirling in my chest. As night fell, Ethan began his investigation, meticulously examining public records and making phone calls to piece together Scott's recent past. "He's clever, but he's left traces," I thought to myself as Ethan's investigation continued. "If he's been involved in anything illegal, we'll find it." Gradually, through conversations with Scott's old associates, a disturbing pattern began to emerge. After 3 long days of investigation, Ethan returned to my house with troubling news. "Melinda, I've found evidence that Scott built his wealth through illegal activities," he reported grimly. "He's been involved in money laundering and fraud. His illness might be real, but his past is far from clean." As Ethan handed me the documents he discovered, I felt the shock ripple through my body. The next day, I steeled myself to confront Scott directly. "I need to look him in the eyes and see if he's really changed," I told myself. "Erica deserves the truth, but I have to protect her." With each step towards Scott's house, my heart pounded like a drum in my chest. When Scott opened the door, my anger burst forth like a dam breaking. "Scott, I know all about your illegal activities," I spat out. "How dare you claim you've changed when you built this fortune through crime?" I watched as Scott tried to maintain his composure, but I could see the desperation in his eyes. "Melinda, yes, I've made many mistakes," he admitted. "It's true that I did terrible things to build this wealth. But I'm trying to change now. I'm sick, I don't have much time, and I want to give Erica a better future." I stared at Scott, his sincerity seemingly genuine, but I couldn't bring myself to trust mere words from his lips. My heart was a battlefield of rage and deep sorrow as I continued to watch him. How can I possibly believe you? I demanded, my voice trembling with emotion. You abandoned us and built this life through crime. Erica is confused, and you're only making everything more complicated. If you've truly changed, prove it with actions, not words. I felt a single tear trace down my cheek, but held my head high, refusing to show weakness. Suddenly, Erica entered the room, immediately sensing the tension crackling between her parents. Though she pretended not to notice our argument, I could see the question swimming in her eyes. Dad, Mom, what's going on? She asked, struggling to maintain her composure despite the obvious tension. Scott tried to smooth things over, but I noticed how Erica picked up on the strain in his voice. Erica, we were just having a difficult discussion, he said carefully, but there's something you need to know. Everything I'm doing is for you. I want you to have a safe and happy future. I've made many mistakes in the past, but I'm trying to change now. I watched as Erica swallowed hard, clearly wanting to believe her father's words while doubting his complete honesty. My maternal instincts surging, I looked at my daughter with concern, determined to protect her. Erica, I only want you to be happy and safe, I said softly but firmly. Think carefully about this. Your father claims he's changed, but we need proof, something concrete to ensure he won't hurt you again. Erica sighed deeply, under the weight of pressure from both her parents. I understand, Mom, she said thoughtfully. I'll think it through carefully. I want to make the right decision too. I don't want to hurt anyone, but I need time to figure out what's best for me. A heavy silence fell over the room as the three of us became lost in our own thoughts and emotions. I could see Erica wanted to believe in her father's transformation, but my earlier words were clearly echoing in her mind. Has Dad really changed? I knew she was wondering, or is he just telling us what we want to hear? How can I discover the truth without hurting either Mom or Dad? I could see in Erica's face that she understood this wasn't an easy decision, and she needed time to process everything. Finally, I felt it was time for me to leave them alone. Talk things through together, I said gently, but Erica, remember, no matter what happens, I'll always be here for you. I gave Scott one last warning look, making sure he understood I would be watching his every move. As I walked out, my heart felt heavy as lead, but I knew I had done what was necessary to protect my daughter.
Scott gazed at Erica with a complex mixture of sorrow and hope etched across his weary features. Erica, I know you need time to process everything, he spoke softly, his voice laden with emotion. I just want you to understand that this time I'm trying to do the right thing, giving you everything I couldn't before. Please, won't you give me one more chance, he pleaded, his eyes reflecting years of regret. Tears welled up in Erica's eyes, but she fought to hold them back, her inner strength showing through her vulnerability. I want to believe you, Dad, she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion, but after everything that's happened, it's not that simple. I need time to think, though I desperately want your sincerity to be real. As Melinda walked home, her mind was racing with everything that had transpired, each step heavy with the weight of her concerns. I must prepare for whatever comes next, she thought determinedly. Ethan's help has been invaluable, but there's still so much we don't know. Meanwhile, Erica remained in the living room with Scott, both aware their conversation was far from over. Dad, if you really want to make amends for the past, I need complete honesty, Erica demanded, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. Tell me the whole truth. Scott nodded, acknowledging the long and difficult path to redemption that lay ahead. I'll tell you everything, Erica, he promised solemnly. It won't be easy, but if you'll give me the chance. The tension in the air began to dissipate, though an undercurrent of anxiety still lingered like a persistent shadow. Erica understood that the decisions she would make in the coming days could change her life forever. This was just the beginning of her ordeal, and she sensed the challenging journey ahead before she could find peace in her heart. Just then, as Erica sat alone in the living room, the front door suddenly burst open. Kendall, an elegant woman dressed in designer clothes, swept in with shopping bags, her laughter filling the room like expensive perfume. "Scott, darling. Thank you for the new car, it's absolutely divine. And everything in these bags is from the latest designer collection. I'm in heaven." Kendall, initially oblivious to Erica's presence, continued her excited chatter. "You won't believe what I heard today about that billionaire's contract. Oh, and don't worry about those documents, everything's been taken care of. No one will ever know." Erica listened in growing disgust as anger rose within her like a tide. "What is this?" she thought bitterly. "This woman gets expensive gifts while Mom and I struggle every day. And they're clearly involved in something illegal, talking about it so casually. How can Dad be with someone like this?" Erica stood abruptly, causing Kendall to whirl around in surprise. "Oh. I didn't notice you there. You must be Scott's daughter. How lovely to meet you." Erica responded with barely contained irritation, "Hello. I need some air," and quickly left the house. Outside, she felt betrayed and confused, her emotions whirling like autumn leaves in a storm. Is this woman supposed to replace Mom? She wondered incredulously, this loud, indiscreet woman who talks about things she shouldn't? Is this the kind of life Dad wants to offer me? Inside, Scott fixed Kendall with a stern look. "Kendall, what are you saying in front of Erica?" he warned. "She can't know about the business." Kendall averted her eyes but nodded compliantly. "I understand, don't worry," she assured him smoothly. "I'll make an effort to befriend her. Everything will be fine." In an attempt to forge a bond with Erica, Kendall suggested a shopping excursion at the city's most exclusive boutiques. "Erica, why don't we go shopping together?" Kendall proposed with practiced charm. "I promise it'll be fun." Though still harboring deep reservations, Erica reluctantly agreed to accompany her. Throughout their outing, Kendall's desperate attempts at friendliness struck Erica as artificial and calculated. Why is she trying so hard? Erica wondered as they moved from store to store, what's behind this intense effort to win me over? As they browsed through designer boutiques, their conversation turned more personal. "I know it's difficult for you to accept me, Erica," Kendall said with what seemed like sincerity, "but I truly want us to be close. Your father means everything to me, and I want to do what's best for both him and you." Erica felt an icy chill run down her spine as she sensed the hidden meaning behind Kendall's words. She's not doing this for me, Erica realized. She has her own agenda, but what is it? Finally, Kendall revealed her true motives with surprising candor. "You must wonder why I'm making such an effort, Erica," she said bluntly while examining a silk scarf. "The truth is, unless your father changes his will, I'll be left with nothing when he dies. That's why I need your help to ensure my future." The shock of Kendall's frank admission hit Erica like a physical blow, but it also gave her a sense of power. "So that's what this is about," she thought grimly. "She's trying to use me to secure her inheritance." Erica made a calculated decision to stay at Scott's house temporarily. "I'll stay," she told Kendall with newfound resolve, "not because I trust you, but because I need to understand what's really going on and protect my mother."
I watched as Scott brought Erica back to my house to tell me her decision, my heart heavy with a mother's deepest concerns. "Erica, I'm terrified of seeing you get hurt," I said, my voice trembling with emotion. "That woman can't be trusted. Please, please be careful." 2 hours after Erica left, I sat alone in my kitchen, feeling the weight of my fears press down on me, like a physical presence. "Oh, Erica," I whispered into the empty room, "how can I protect you from all of this? Scott's involved in dangerous things, and now this woman." The uncertainty of what might happen next filled me with a terror that seemed to squeeze my heart. Though I knew I had to trust in Erica's strength, I couldn't shake the fear that Kendall would manipulate her way into stealing my daughter from me. In my desperation, I reached out to Ethan again, the only person I felt I could truly trust in this nightmare. His immediate response brought a tiny spark of hope to my troubled heart. "I'll be right there, Melinda," he assured me with that steady voice I'd come to rely on. "We'll investigate everything and make sure Erica stays safe. Don't worry, we'll get through this together." With Ethan's support, I felt a small measure of relief wash over me, like a cool breeze on a scorching day. Perhaps with Ethan by my side, I can protect Erica from this mess, I thought to myself, though I knew the path ahead would be challenging. The road won't be easy, but at least I'm not facing it alone.
Meanwhile, in Scott's luxurious mansion, Erica began noticing peculiar patterns in her father's behavior that set off warning bells in her mind. Behind closed doors, Scott spent long hours in his study, and his frequent mysterious meetings with unnamed visitors left him visibly agitated and rushed. One day, while Scott was out, Erica made the bold decision to investigate his study, her heart pounding with both fear and determination. "What are you hiding, Dad?" she whispered to the empty room. "If you've really changed, why do you always seem so anxious?" As she methodically searched through drawers and files, her fingers finally discovered a hidden safe tucked away in the depths of a drawer. Inside, she found documents that revealed her worst fears, detailed plans for money laundering and fraud schemes. "So this is the truth," she thought, her heart sinking like a stone. "Dad is still involved in criminal activities." Meanwhile, Kendall, ever vigilant and calculating, had noticed the subtle changes in Erica's behavior. She felt an urgent need to distract the young woman from her discoveries. "Erica, darling, why don't we go to a party tonight?" Kendall suggested with forced brightness. "It'll be absolutely fabulous. And tomorrow, we can go shopping, you can have anything your heart desires." Though Kendall maintained a cheerful facade, her eyes betrayed hints of anxiety that she couldn't quite conceal. In her desperate attempt to divert Erica's attention, Kendall orchestrated a whirlwind of lavish parties and shopping sprees. "Look at this bag, Erica, it's from the latest collection," she gushed, "and this dress would be perfect for the party." While Erica appeared to enjoy these luxuries on the surface, doubts continued to grow in her heart like dark shadows. "Why is Kendall showering me with such extravagance?" she wondered silently. "What are she and Dad trying to hide from me?" With each new gift she received, Erica felt the weight of her suspicions grow heavier, sensing that something was terribly wrong in this glittering world of luxury.
I felt my anxiety growing by the hour, so I turned to Ethan, begging him to watch Scott's house. "Ethan, I need your help now more than ever," I pleaded, my voice tight with worry. "Scott and Kendall are behaving strangely, and I'm terrified Erica's in danger. Please watch the house and find out what's really happening." Ethan, loyal as always, agreed without hesitation, his determination matching my own. "I'll get to the bottom of this, Melinda," he promised with quiet confidence. "Don't worry, I'll keep constant watch." For several days, Ethan maintained his vigil, documenting Scott's meetings with suspicious-looking men who were clearly not ordinary friends. Who are these people? I wondered when Ethan showed me his findings, and why does Scott look so anxious every time he meets them? Ethan meticulously photographed and recorded everything, piecing together the disturbing puzzle of Scott's activities. When he returned to my house, the gravity in his expression confirmed my worst fears. "Melinda, your instincts were right," he said grimly. "Scott's been meeting with these shady characters repeatedly. It's clear evidence he's still involved in illegal activities." My heart sank even further as the weight of protecting Erica grew heavier on my shoulders. "I need to confront Kendall directly," I decided, gathering my courage. "She's hiding something, and I have to know the truth." I went to Scott's house and requested a private conversation with Kendall, forcing myself to maintain composure as tension crackled in the air between us. Kendall, I know about Scott's meetings with those suspicious men, I said firmly. I know he's still involved in illegal activities. What's your real agenda here? Kendall tried to deflect with a practiced smile, but I saw through her facade. Oh, Melinda, you're worrying too much, she said with artificial lightness. Scott's just tying up loose ends from old business dealings, nothing to be concerned about. But I refused to be manipulated by her smooth lies. Stop the act, Kendall, I demanded. I know you're after Scott's inheritance and using my daughter to secure it. I won't let you use Erica like this. If you really care about her, be honest for once. Seeing she couldn't deceive me, Kendall's manner shifted subtly. Try to understand, Melinda, she said, attempting a more sincere tone. I want to protect Erica too. Yes, I'm concerned about the inheritance, but I'm thinking of everyone's future here. Scott's sick, and we need to plan ahead. I tried to convince Erica to come home, my heart breaking at the distance between us. Erica, you need to come home, I pleaded. Kendall can't be trusted, and Scott's still involved in dangerous things. Please, come home with me. But Erica was caught in her own internal struggle. Mom, I understand your concerns, she said softly, but I need to discover the truth for myself. I want to stay here a little longer to understand what's really happening and make a careful decision.
Robert, Scott's former rival, sat in his modest office, contemplating the news that Erica had moved in with her father. So, the daughter has returned, he mused darkly, a vengeful gleam in his eyes. This is the perfect opportunity for revenge. Scott destroyed my company, stole Kendall, and now he's trying to restore his reputation, but I won't let that happen. This is my chance to make him suffer where it hurts the most. Robert began plotting his revenge, determined to use the situation to his advantage. I need to find a way to get close to Erica, he thought, his mind working through various scenarios. Perhaps Kendall still has some weakness I can exploit. I'll use everything at my disposal to make Scott pay. Understanding the need for careful strategy, Robert began making regular appearances at places where he might encounter Kendall. One day, his patience paid off when he spotted Kendall and Erica at an exclusive social gathering. "Hello, Kendall, how have you been?" he asked with calculated charm. "It's been quite a while." Kendall attempted to maintain her composure, but Robert caught the flicker of unease in her eyes. "Robert, what are you doing here?" she asked, her voice tense. "I thought you disappeared after your company went bankrupt." Masking his anger with a practiced smile, Robert responded smoothly. "Just trying to get back on my feet, Kendall," he said with artificial warmth. "Let's catch up, shall we? And who is this lovely young lady with you?" Erica sensed the tension crackling between Kendall and Robert. Her curiosity piqued despite her instinctive wariness. "Hello, I'm Erica," she introduced herself, studying Robert's face carefully. Robert maintained his friendly facade, responding with practiced charm. "I'm an old friend of Kendall and your father's," he said warmly. "It's wonderful to meet you, Erica. Your father must be so proud to have such a beautiful daughter." Though Erica sensed something unsettling about Robert, she maintained a polite demeanor. "Thank you, it's nice to meet you too," she replied diplomatically. "Please enjoy your evening." Robert seized the opportunity to plant seeds of doubt in Erica's mind with calculated precision. "Have you ever considered, Erica," he said with deceptive gentleness, "that things might not be exactly as they appear? Especially when large sums of money are involved, people often have hidden motives." Erica frowned, feeling waves of uncertainty wash over her. "What do you mean by that? Are you talking about my father and Kendall?" Robert nodded slowly, his expression a masterpiece of staged concern. "I just want you to be careful," he warned softly. "Not everyone is who they seem to be. Some people are only interested in what they can get." Growing increasingly unsettled, Erica tried to push away her mounting concerns. "Thank you for the advice, Robert, but I'll figure things out for myself." Robert smiled with satisfaction as he took his leave. Of course you will, Erica. I only said this for your benefit. If you ever need someone to talk to, I'm here. After Robert's departure, Erica's suspicions grew like shadows at twilight. Why would he say such things? She wondered uneasily. I need to be careful, something might interfere before I discover the truth. Robert's presence had added another layer of complexity to an already complicated situation, and Erica knew she needed to be more vigilant than ever. I can't lose myself in this power struggle, she resolved firmly. I have to uncover the truth and protect both Mom and myself. If Kendall and Dad have ulterior motives, I'll expose them. With steely determination, Erica committed herself to finding answers, even if it meant facing the most frightening truths. Shortly after, Scott's condition deteriorated rapidly, resulting in his emergency hospitalization. Erica sat in the waiting room, her heart constricting with worry. I knew Dad was sick, but I never imagined it was this serious, she thought anxiously. What if he doesn't make it? What will happen to our relationship just as we're starting to rebuild it? Her mind was a turbulent sea of fear, hope, and doubt. Soon, a doctor approached Erica with a grave expression. Miss Erica, your father needs an urgent kidney transplant, he explained solemnly. His condition is critical, and without finding a suitable donor quickly, we're looking at the worst possible outcome. Erica felt the ground crumbling beneath her feet. A kidney transplant, if I'm the only match, could I save Dad's life? Yet simultaneously, fear for her own health crept in like a cold shadow. But if I'm a match, there are significant risks for me too. The young woman found herself torn between love for her father and fear for her own well-being. Kendall, upon hearing the news, quickly approached Erica. Erica, you don't have to get tested, she insisted with artificial concern, there are other ways to find donors. Don't put yourself at risk, your father would understand if you choose not to get tested. Secretly, Kendall hoped Scott wouldn't find a donor at all. If he dies, the inheritance will be mine, and I can live comfortably, she thought coldly. I won't let Erica interfere with that. Erica looked at Kendall with growing suspicion and confusion, struggling with her emotions and the pressure from all sides.
I confronted Robert when I discovered he had been approaching Erica, my maternal instincts firing on all cylinders. I know you've been getting close to Erica, Robert, I said, my voice sharp as steel, and I know what you've been telling her. I can see right through your intentions. You're trying to use my daughter to get revenge on Scott, and I won't stand for it. Every fiber of my being was ready to face any threat to protect my child. Though Robert tried to hide his true motives, I could see the truth burning in his eyes like cold fire. Melinda, you don't understand anything. He attempted to deflect. I'm only trying to show Erica the truth about her father. But I wasn't about to fall for his manipulations. Stop lying, Robert, I snapped, my protective instincts surging. We both know revenge is your real motive. Stay away from my daughter, or you'll face the consequences. My resolve was unshakable as I stood there, ready to do whatever it took to protect Erica. Later, when I learned about Scott's condition, I rushed to the hospital, my heart heavy with worry for both my daughter and her father. I had to warn Erica about the danger lurking in Robert's seemingly friendly demeanor. Be careful, sweetheart, I cautioned her, my voice trembling with concern. Robert isn't someone you can trust. He's trying to use you to get revenge on your father. Don't let his words mislead you.
As Erica's world seemed to crumble around her, she found herself drowning in a sea of conflicting truths and motives. Who can I trust? She wondered desperately, her heart heavy with uncertainty. Mom says one thing, Kendall another, and then there's Robert. Everyone seems to have hidden agendas. With determination rising through her confusion, she knew she had to discover the truth for herself. The decision to get tested as a potential donor seemed like a path to both saving her father and uncovering the truth. After undergoing the tests, Erica received the news that she was indeed compatible with Scott. I could save Dad's life, she thought, her heart torn between hope and doubt, but is this really the right thing to do? Meanwhile, Ethan's investigation had yielded shocking results. Kendall and Robert are working together, he discovered, plotting to split Scott's inheritance between them. This explains everything. He immediately sent an urgent message to Melinda. This is critical, Kendall and Robert are conspiring to divide Scott's estate. We need to warn Erica before it's too late. But before Melinda could reach her daughter, Kendall and Robert had already isolated Erica, poisoning her mind against her mother. Don't believe your mother, Erica, Kendall whispered with calculated concern, she just wants to take you away from here. She doesn't like you being with your father and me, that's why she's spreading lies about Robert and me. Kendall's masterful manipulation of the truth left Erica increasingly confused and vulnerable. What's really happening? Erica wondered, her mind spinning, why is everyone lying to me? Robert, too, approached Erica, further fueling her doubts with carefully crafted words. I know this is difficult for you, Erica, he said with false sympathy, but you need to know the truth. Your mother is afraid of losing you to your father, that's why she's telling these lies. Don't believe her stories. Caught in this web of deception, Erica felt trapped, unable to distinguish truth from lies. In the hospital, Scott held his daughter's hand weakly, his eyes showing a sincerity she hadn't seen in years. Erica, I've made so many mistakes, he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. I have so many regrets, but now all I want is for you to have a safe and happy future. If I could go back, I'd change everything. Please, give me one more chance, I want to make things right. Scott's words touched Erica's heart deeply, yet she found herself torn between loyalty to her mother and wanting to believe in her father's redemption. Kendall watched this emotional scene unfold with cold anxiety growing in her chest. If Erica decides to donate her kidney, Scott might recover, she thought calculatingly, that would ruin everything I've planned. I must keep pressuring her against it. With calculated precision, Kendall employed every tactic she could to discourage Erica from becoming a donor. Think carefully, Erica, she urged with false concern, your father would understand if you choose not to be a donor. You have your whole life ahead of you, there's no need to take such risks. But Erica had already steeled her resolve to follow her heart. Dad, I'll do everything I can to help you, she declared firmly, but this time, I need you to tell me the truth. Scott gripped Erica's hand tightly, tears welling in his eyes. I swear to you, he whispered earnestly, all I want is your happiness. If we get through this, I'll prove to you that I've changed. Even if we don't, I want you to remember that my love for you is real. As Erica prepared for the final compatibility tests, she understood this decision would change her life forever. I have to be strong, she told herself, I must do what I believe is right, even if it means taking risks. Mom always taught me to follow my heart, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Erica felt her inner resolve strengthening, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. After 2 hours of testing, the doctor emerged with the results, his expression grave. Miss, your kidney is a perfect match for your father, he began carefully, however, after discussing with your father, we've decided not to proceed with the transplant. Your father is in the terminal stages, and even with the transplant, we couldn't significantly extend his life. We're recommending he be discharged to spend time with his family. I'm truly sorry. The news struck Erica like a physical blow to her heart. Over the following days, as she observed Kendall and Robert's behavior and words, she finally began to realize how they had been manipulating her. One day, without warning, Erica confronted Kendall directly. I know you and Robert are plotting something, she declared, her voice trembling with righteous anger. I won't let you keep deceiving my father like this. How could you do this when he trusts you so much? Erica's anger was palpable, feeling betrayed by someone she had tried to trust. Kendall, caught off guard, scrambled to explain. "Please, Erica, let me explain," she pleaded. "Yes, I made a deal with Robert, but it's not what you think. I was desperate to secure everyone's financial future. If your father dies without leaving anything, I'll be destitute." It wasn't out of malice, it was out of desperation. Kendall's tears flowed as she begged for forgiveness, desperately trying to make Erica understand her motives. At that moment, Scott, who had been listening from his bed, entered the room, his face heavy with guilt. "Erica, I'm so sorry," he said softly. "I never wanted you to go through any of this. I promise to make everything right. I'll change my will to ensure you receive your rightful inheritance." Scott turned to Kendall, disappointment etched across his face. "Kendall, I trusted you, but I was wrong," he said firmly. "We can't be together anymore."
I worked late into the night with Ethan, both of us determined to expose Kendall and Robert's conspiracy. We meticulously gathered evidence, reviewing documents and recording conversations, leaving no stone unturned. "We need solid proof to end their manipulation," I said firmly, my voice steady with determination. "I won't let them keep controlling Erica and Scott any longer." My maternal instincts were in full force, driving me to protect my daughter at all costs. When we'd finally gathered enough evidence, Ethan and I confronted Robert at his house. "We know everything about your deal with Kendall, Robert," I declared, my voice sharp with righteous anger. "We have all the evidence of your intentions, and if you don't stay away from Erica, we'll make it public and send you to prison." Ethan displayed the recordings and documents we'd collected, and I watched as the color drained from Robert's face. Fear of arrest made Robert back down without even examining our evidence. "Fine, you win, for now," he conceded, his voice bitter with defeat. "But remember, this isn't over. I'll have my revenge on Scott eventually." As Robert stormed away, Ethan and I exchanged knowing looks. We both recognized that Robert, though retreating, remained a dangerous threat. My heart was heavy with the knowledge that this battle might be won, but the war was far from over.
Left alone, Kendall found herself in a state of desperation, making one last attempt to regain Erica's trust. "Please, Erica, try to understand me," she pleaded, her voice trembling with feigned sincerity. "I never meant to hurt you or betray your father. Can't we start over?" But Erica had grown weary of the lies and manipulation that had surrounded her. "It's too late, Kendall," she replied firmly, her voice steady with newfound strength. "I'm going back to Mom and leaving this chaos behind, but first, we need to settle all the legal matters." Scott, sensing the situation spiraling beyond his control, knew he had to act swiftly. He arranged a meeting with his lawyers at his home, determined to change his will and leave the majority of his estate to Erica. "I must ensure my daughter is protected and secure," he thought resolutely. "She should never have been caught up in the complicated mess I created." Kendall, desperate to stop Scott's actions, burst into the room where the lawyers were gathered. "Scott, you can't do this," she cried out in panic. "You're making a terrible mistake. Please, think about my future." But Scott's resolve remained unshakable. "Enough, Kendall," he said firmly, "I've thought this through. This is the right decision. Erica is my daughter, and she should inherit my estate. You made your choices, now you must live with the consequences." Meanwhile, Robert, feeling cornered and desperate, made a dark decision as his final move. If Scott were out of the picture, he calculated coldly, I could still get part of the inheritance through Kendall. There's no other choice left.
I sensed the approaching danger like a gathering storm, and moved to protect my daughter and Scott in one last desperate attempt. "Ethan, we need to act quickly," I urged, my heart racing with maternal fear. "Robert is becoming more dangerous as he gets cornered. He might try to hurt Scott or Erica." Ethan nodded gravely, understanding the urgency of our situation. "We'll increase our surveillance," he assured me firmly, "and make sure everyone stays safe." That night, an eerie silence fell over Scott's house, heavy with tension and anticipation. Erica and I sat in the living room, trying to maintain our composure, while our nerves were stretched thin as silk threads. Scott was still resting in his room, and though his body was weakening, I could sense his determination about the future growing stronger with each passing moment. The quiet house felt like the calm before a storm, and my maternal instincts were screaming that something was about to happen.
As faithful as ever, Ethan stood guard outside, his vigilant eyes scanning the darkness. Suddenly, a strange sound shattered the night's stillness, breaking through the tense atmosphere. The back door creaked open without warning, and Robert slipped inside, a knife gleaming dangerously in his trembling hand. His face was a mask of rage and desperation, twisted by years of bitter hatred. "Scott, you ruined my life," he hissed through clenched teeth, "now it's my turn to end yours." Moving like a shadow through the house, Robert crept closer to Scott's bedroom where his target lay unaware of the approaching danger. Scott remained peacefully asleep, completely oblivious to the deadly threat advancing toward him. Ethan, noticing the movement, sprang into action, rushing into the house with the speed of a protective guardian. "Stop right there, Robert," he commanded, his voice firm and authoritative, "you've caused enough pain already." Robert turned to face Ethan, his eyes blazing with a mixture of surprise and pure hatred. "Don't interfere," he snarled, brandishing the knife, "Scott has to pay for what he's done." Ethan planted himself firmly between Robert and his intended target, his determination unwavering as he faced down the desperate man. Ethan stood like a rock, his muscles tensed and ready for whatever might come next. His years of experience told him this was a critical moment that could turn deadly in an instant. The darkness of the house seemed to close in around them as the two men faced each other, one driven by revenge, the other by duty and protection. Every second felt like an eternity as they stood in this deadly standoff. Robert's desperation had pushed him to the edge of reason, making him more dangerous than ever before. The knife in his hand caught the dim light, its blade promising violence with every slight movement. Ethan knew he had to end this confrontation quickly before anyone got hurt. His mind raced through possible scenarios, calculating the best way to disarm Robert without causing harm. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on his shoulders. Scott's life, and possibly Erica's future, depended on his next actions. They were locked in this moment of tension, neither man willing to back down from what they believed they had to do.
I heard Erica's terrified scream and my maternal instincts took over as I rushed to call the police. "Mom, call the police, quickly." Erica's voice was filled with panic and fear. I could hear Robert's continued threats, but I knew Ethan was buying time until help arrived, carefully avoiding any unnecessary risks. In what seemed like an eternity but was probably only minutes, Ethan managed to disarm Robert with a swift, calculated move. I watched as he pinned Robert to the floor, holding him there until the police arrived. "You won't hurt anyone else," Ethan declared firmly. "It's over, Robert." The approaching sound of police sirens filled me with relief, though I couldn't shake the horrifying thought of what might have happened. The police burst into the house and arrested Robert, who looked utterly defeated as he stared at Erica. My daughter stood tall and strong, her voice steady as she said, "It's over, Robert. You can't hurt us anymore." Upstairs, Kendall had been hiding, but the police found her and took her in for questioning about her involvement in this whole mess. Through all of this, Scott, though weakened, expressed his deep gratitude to Ethan. "Thank you for saving my life," he said sincerely. "I don't know how to repay you. I promise to protect Melinda and Erica properly now. I'll make sure they live in peace." When Scott turned to me, his face was filled with genuine remorse. "Melinda, I know I've made so many mistakes," he admitted, but I want to spend whatever time I have left doing right by our family. As I watched Erica witness the sacrifice that Ethan and I had made, I saw forgiveness bloom in her heart for her father. "Dad, I know you made mistakes," she said softly, "but I forgive you. Let's move forward together." Scott embraced us both, tears in his eyes. "Thank you, both of you," he whispered, "let's walk this path together. I'll give you everything you deserve in the time I have left." Justice had finally been served. Kendall and Robert faced their consequences, never to recover from their downfall. Kendall returned to her hometown, living a humble life she never expected, while Robert served his time in prison, regretting the choices that had cost him everything. In those final months, Scott worked to repair his relationships with both Erica and me, cherishing every moment with his family. "Erica, you're an amazing daughter," he would often say, "watching you study and achieve great things makes me so proud." And I, after carrying the weight of those years of separation, finally found it in my heart to forgive Scott. "You really have changed," I acknowledged softly. When Scott passed away, he left us with both material and emotional inheritance, his love, his regrets, and the means for a secure future. Erica has grown into a mature young woman who understands reality better now, focusing on her studies and building a new life with me. "Mom, let's work hard together," she says with determination. "I'll study hard and build a safe future. Dad would be proud of us." In his final moments, Scott expressed his love and regret for Erica, leaving us both a legacy to ensure a prosperous future. "Erica, use this inheritance to achieve great things," were his last words. "I know you can do it. I love you." Now, Erica and I move forward with our lives, supported by Ethan's steady presence. Our story shows that love and determination can overcome hardship and betrayal. Walking hand in hand, mother and daughter, we're ready to face any challenges that lie ahead, starting this new chapter of our lives together.
If you've enjoyed this tale of love, redemption, and family bonds, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support and encouragement inspire us to continue bringing you these touching stories of the heart. Stay tuned for our next story, coming to you soon with another powerful journey of healing and hope. Thank you for your wonderful support and for being part of our storytelling family. Until we meet again, take care and keep believing in the power of love and forgiveness.